Welcome to the Living in Utah live question and answer session, Thursday evening, 8 p.m. Mountain Time. It's just an open forum. You're welcome to ask whatever questions you would like. If you want to talk about the state of Utah, or if you're joining us from outside of the state of Utah, maybe another country, and you've got general questions about the United States, by all means, shoot them to me. I'll do my very best. This week in the state of Utah, as far as the weather goes, it has been very snowy in northern Utah. Even southern Utah has had quite a bit of weather come through, storm after storm. It was so dry in December and November, but this week has a good amount of snow. The ski resorts are getting pounded every day. We had a big snowstorm at my house last Sunday. Tuesday night, we got a little bit. Today, just maybe an inch total, but who knows? Maybe more to come. Quite a bit of weather storm going across the United States right now, actually. A lot of the playoff games for the football this weekend, they're expecting some very cold temperatures. We'll see if Taylor Swift shows up to the Kansas City game with the cold temperatures. I want to talk today about something that is, I think this is the only state getting involved in this at the moment. I've heard about some other states that have talked about doing something similar. I'm not too sure if they have enacted anything, but Utah they passed a bill for what they call age verification rules for social media. So starting, I want to say March the 1st will be the implementation. Yes, starting on March the 1st, social media sites will be required to do an age verification in order to use their sites. I'm not too sure how they're going to do this exactly. I know that a lot of the social media companies have sued the state of Utah saying that you can't do this. As far as I know, the state is continuing on. The lawsuits have not shut down this piece of legislation. Under the proposal, social media companies would have to choose from state-approved verification methods, including mobile telephone subscriber information, the date an account was created, facial analysis, social security numbers, and matching a user's government ID to a live webcam image. Users under 18 would have to get their parents' written consent to open an account. This is the key part of the legislation. This is what the state was targeting. They feel that there is too much harm being done on some of these sites to people under the age 18, probably all age groups, actually, maybe you want to be technical, but under 18. So do you think it's a good idea? Is this government overreach? Should you just let parents be parents and monitor it themselves? There's two sides to it. Let to know in the comments, or put a comment down below if you're watching the video at a later date other than the live. If you're not joining us tonight on the live, but and do you feel that this will, is Utah, are we on an island on our own? Are we crazy? Are we whacked out? Feel free to comment on that too if you want to. Or will other states go, hey, that's a great idea the state of Utah has. Let's jump on board. So, yes. Yeah, I have my own personal opinions, but my personal opinions are judged other ways because I've got a relative that committed suicide. So we have no proof. as to if social media sites led to any of this or helped to enact some of the things that happened, but happened a few years ago. We were taken by surprise. But we feel that some of the groups in the social media sites that we found out about later, we do believe contributed to possibly what happened. So I'm personally in favor for it, but I've been personally impacted through a relative. So I think it's a great thing. But then again, I can understand the other side where, government overreach, the government shouldn't get involved, et cetera, et cetera. It's a different age these days than when I grew up. When I grew up, none of this existed. So yeah, it's definitely different. So there is, so Australia has, they require online age verification. So there are other countries around the world that, also require this. So we're not alone. State of Utah, not too sure about some of the other states, but good evening. Social media has changed the world for sure. Yes, some things good, some things bad. But does the state need to enforce some laws? That's the question. Or should it be up to parents? Or do parents need some assistance with this? So that's the law. Will it change? Not too sure. Like I said, there's a lot of lawsuits going after the state of Utah. As far as I know, none of the lawsuits have stopped the legislation. It's supposed to go in effect March the 1st. Any other questions that we might have this evening? This is getting a little bit of news throughout the state. Not as big as I remember. Probably about 5 years ago, maybe a little bit longer. We changed our DUI laws. We have the strictest DUI laws in the country when it was enacted. Maybe some states have joined us, but 0.05 is the legal limit in the state of Utah. 0.08 in many states. We were at 0.08, 0.05. When that law got enacted, there was a lot of outcry. Tourism will go down the tubes. People will leave the state. People won't move to the state. And I thought about it for a moment and thought, no, people, this legislation could stop the growth into the state and stop businesses, jobs coming to the state. Well, like I said, it was about 5-6 years ago. And we have been on a roller coaster ride ever since, upwards, as far as job growth, business, people moving to the state. So it had the opposite effect that some people thought was going to happen. So this is a great law. Hope it goes through. Yeah, well, the law has passed in the state of Utah. So on March the 1st, these particular sites will be required to have an age verification. Now, I don't remember, maybe it was a year or two ago, state of Utah did the exact same thing with the porn sites. You had to age verification to obtain an account. Some porn sites decided not to do business in Utah. They literally pulled out of the state. So I'm not too sure if they came back, but I know at the time they did pull out of the state. So I don't think the social media companies will be pulling out of the state of Utah because of this. I think some of them know that They might as well do it now because other states will probably join the bandwagon. That's my opinion. That you'll see other states, so they'll have to eventually conform to the same sort of requirements of age verification. So, and I don't think it's probably too much. I would imagine that there's a lot of third-party sites that probably already offer items like this that they could just probably tag and become compliant. TikTok and Facebook and YouTube. So we'll see how it goes. Do you prefer the old days or nowadays? Well, quite honestly, I prefer the old days, but I'm getting older, so I guess that happens when you have more years behind you than you do in front of you. So it, I love the internet and YouTube and many other things, but I do feel that so much has been taken away in society that was done years ago that you're not allowed to do now, or just is no longer an established practice, et cetera, et cetera. So it's kind of how it goes. Do you prefer the old days or nowadays? I think it is nowadays. I think it is tougher to be a teenager. I really, really do. The bullying, everything that can go on at a mass level with social media and text messaging and everything like that. In the days before cell phones and text messaging and social media, yeah, there was some bullying that went on, but it was probably, I consider it on a smaller scale, as opposed to now where people can post things online, say things, and go to a very vast, wide audience. I think it's very difficult to grow up as a teenager with, you can really damage a teenager with the ability to spread some of this stuff. I think is greater now than it was years ago. I think it's tougher to be a teenager. I really do. So. Okay. Hope everybody has a great weekend. I think I'm going to call it a night. Little bit excited this weekend. It's the football playoff games. It's going to be some cold games, but how's the construction there? Well, construction has slowed down, whether it's commercial or residential. I've got my finger on both sides, on the residential and commercial. Both of them have slowed down. Maybe a home builder was building 10 homes a month. Now he's building 2 to 3. It hasn't stopped. Commercial has not stopped either. I just talked to a commercial contractor today, and he's seeing a bit of a slowdown. Had to let some guys go, but they have a fair amount of work throughout the year. So there's a slowdown. And of course, when you're looking at, we're 6-7% interest rates, it does put a damper on not only residential but also commercial, because a lot of your commercial deals, like if you're building an apartment building, that higher payment is going to factor into, is the deal profitable? They have to figure out all the rents. It's cost them $10 million to build it. And they're going to collect X amount in rents. Can they make the payments on that $10 million project? And there are some projects that have been put on the back burner because they just don't pencil out in the current market. So, okay, snowing like crazy here in Utah. Yep. I'm in Oklahoma right now. I think you're getting the cold temperatures this weekend. There's construction everywhere. Yep. Want to buy commercial property, but it's too expensive right now. Yeah, you're correct. You're correct. I bought commercial property when it was even more expensive than right now. In the middle of COVID, when people said, "Oh, you're crazy. Don't buy it. You're crazy." Yes, I bought commercial property, and we are developing it right now. We've been developing it. It's been a long process to get approvals. I think we spent a year and a half to 2 years just on approvals. But the thing about the commercial property was, I was concerned with the price it was paid, and I'm in this project with some other people. We were all concerned with the price that we paid, but when we looked at it, we weren't looking at today. We're looking at 5 to 10 years down the road. We know it's going to be tough at first, but with the growth coming to Utah and commercial property becoming more scarce, then that we would benefit as the years go by. And for example, I talked to somebody from O'Reilly Auto Parts, district manager for O'Reilly Auto Parts, and they're building a lot of stores in a lot of cities. And I said to him, I'm like, hey, you're in some of these cities that, is there the business? Is there the business? And they said, not right now. In the future. They are getting into those locations now because they know that as they become more populated, it is harder and harder to get commercial deals approved. So they don't mind paying all the money right now on a store that may not even be profitable at the current moment. But they know in the long run, as that population goes, and everybody looks at the numbers, that's what they're banking on. So I want to create a B studio creative space. Yeah, I'm not familiar with that sort of commercial. I've got a friend that's actually a contractor that built a large warehouse. Half the warehouse he kept for himself on purpose, and the other half he rents it out, and he rents it to a company that does pickleball inside, indoor pickleball. So we are planning on buying land next year. Can you buy property in between Salt Lake and Park City? Yes, you can. Between Salt Lake and Park City, there's not a lot of land in between the two. There's a lot of, to get from Salt Lake City to Park City, there's a lot of mountains. And some of the land is owned by the state or federal. So there's not like in between. There's Jeremy Ranch. There's a few places that developers have gone into. Not vast amounts. So it's usually once you get up towards that Park City area, the land opens up a little bit. So you're looking at an area that is probably the Park City area is, some of the most expensive land in the state of Utah. So, yeah. But it's changing though. So there's a big development. I'm not too sure if people are aware of this. But if anybody knows where Layton, Utah is, the military base, if you just pull up a Google map and look at Layton, Utah, Hill Air Force Base, that area right there. Jump over the other side of the mountain. Literally fly over on Google Maps. They are trying to develop an exclusive community on that side of the mountain that I believe will have homes, a big gated community, homes, golf courses, ski resort, everything built into this community. It has already been approved. I believe construction has started. Now there is some objection to the whole project. It comes under Morgan County. There's some objection for it. So the project has been put on hold, but they did have planning permission for it. So I'm not too sure what the outcome is going to be, but Eden, Utah. Yes. Yeah. So my take on Eden, Huntsville, Liberty, there's a few cities up there. The millionaires have pushed people out of Park City because basically Park City land, you're 7 figures and above. Just figure 7 figures and above, $1 million and up. I joke that the millionaires have pushed other people out of the area, and they are now going to Eden, Huntsville, and Liberty to still have like mountain living that's very similar. It's very similar geographically to Park City. It's just that you don't have Park City, Main Street, business, culture, etc. In those areas. But it's a beautiful area. I would live in Eden, Huntsville, Liberty, any of those areas. Not at the current moment. It's difficult to do real estate and have to drive from that location to Salt Lake City or other areas. By the time you come down the canyon, you're 45 minutes, out, depending on where you're at in that area. If you're closer towards the Canyon Road or over towards Mountain Green area, it's a little quicker. But some of those areas, it's quite the drive to get down into Ogden or to Layton from those areas before you even start your journey elsewhere. So, but yeah, very beautiful areas. Used to be kind of like a little hidden area, Eden, Huntsville, Liberty. Not many people knew about it, but now that Park City is, the price in Park City has become very expensive. People are looking at other options and they're choosing that particular area. Eden needs a Walmart. Then I'd move there. Ha. Well, I don't think that's going to happen. Maybe one of those neighborhood groceries. They do the Walmart neighborhood groceries, possibly something like that. But if you're familiar with the singer, his name is Post Malone. He is currently building a home or a mansion, I should say, in that area. So right now he lives in the Morgan area, and he may live in other locations. I don't know. I don't know him personally, but right now he lives in the Morgan area, and he is building a home in the Eden, Huntsville area. So we'll see how that's going. But he has chosen that area. He likes it a lot. He likes the Morgan area a lot. Where he's at in the Morgan area is kind of like an exclusive area too. But he wants to go around the corner to Eden, Huntsville. I'm not familiar with where his home is being built right now, so I don't know the exact address. I haven't really looked into it a whole lot. Main reason I know about it was there was a lot of hoopla when he went to planning commission, planning and zoning, and get approvals, et cetera, and that's how I knew that what was going on with construction there. But yeah, great area. And you're right next to 2 fabulous ski resorts, all the outdoor recreation you would want in that area. The summers are beautiful, 85-degree days, no humidity. I guess on the con side, there's always a pro and a con. On the con side would be the snow level at my house, because I live down in the valley down here, where, say, this weekend I got 4 or 5 inches. That's about what I received. I would imagine up there in Eden, Huntsville, you're probably a foot. You're double at least. So It requires snow removal equipment bigger than the little snowblower that I have. So that would be the one thing to keep in mind about that area is just plan for the winter. Any more questions this evening? It has been a great night. I appreciate all the questions. I love the state of Utah. I love where I live. So really enjoy it. Yeah. He's a great individual. He's done a lot for the state of Utah. He owns a Raising Cane location in Salt Lake City that is actually done a little different than other Raising Cane locations. So we got 2 feet here in the east benches where I live. Oh, wow. See, I received about 4 or 5 inches on Sunday's snowfall. So yeah. Yep. That's the difference between down here on the valley floor and even, and when I say the down on the valley floor next to I-15, just take I-15 in those areas. Now, when you go on to the east benches of Salt Lake City, Provo, Ogden, Layton, when I get 4 or 5 inches, they're receiving 8, 9, 10 inches. And then when you get up into the Park City area, Eden, Huntsville with the higher elevation, it's a foot and a half. So I grew up in Huntsville, Arkansas, so I might as well get in land in Huntsville, Utah. There you go. Huntsville, Alabama, and Huntsville, Utah. I'm sure it's different. I've never been to Huntsville, Alabama, but how's the tiny homes in Utah looking to sell in Davis County? I don't know of any developments in Davis County. Salt Lake City is the county that is pushing tiny homes. Not in Davis County at the moment. That I haven't seen any developments. So, and I think it'll be tough in Davis County. It's like, what city do you choose? So Davis County has some very nice neighborhoods. Some expensive real estate. And typically in areas where you have expensive real estate, they're not as fond on the idea of tiny homes. Let's put it that way. But Salt Lake City is looking into it. There's a couple sites already in Salt Lake City. It's in the planning stage. But yeah, I'd like to see more of it. I'd like to see more trailer parks. It's unfortunately there again across the nation, mobile home parks have been discouraged. And cities want to get rid of mobile home parks, but some people love living in a mobile home. Let them live in it. Why take it away? So, but it's no different. Arkansas, not Alabama. Oh, okay. Yes, I'm not very familiar with that part of the country. I personally have never been to Alabama. I've never been to Arkansas. So yeah, it's strange territory for me. Any movement in the cannabis laws, either medical or recreational? Yeah. So medical marijuana is in the state of Utah. We do have medical marijuana, no recreational marijuana. I have not seen any bills put forward for recreational marijuana. And when I skim through some of the bills that are being drafted right now for the session that's going to begin here, I have not seen any recreational marijuana law bills on the books to be debated at the moment. But that changes quick. The list right now is probably only yay big, and by the time session gets started, there's all these bills that are added. They're just stockpiled. So, but medical marijuana is here. Our neighboring states, Nevada, Colorado, have recreational marijuana. I'm a hog fan. No Roll Tide here. Okay. So you're probably happy that Nick Saban is retiring. Great man. I think he phenomenal coach. I know it's tougher in Davis County. Yeah. Yep. Be nice to be able to grow for medical. Yeah, I'm not too sure what the um yeah, I have no clue at all. I mean, I don't know if in the state of Utah we grow marijuana here to sell in the stores, or do we import it from other states? I have no idea. I'm not too sure about the whole chain. I know where some locations are located. Um, some of the locations offer delivery service. So, and of course, with the medical marijuana, you have to see a physician and get all the whatever's required to obtain the prescription. You would love Arkansas. Beautiful and cheap land. Very humid, though, and not much opportunity. Yeah, I know somebody who lives in Arkansas, and I want to say they're right there on the military base. And I can't remember the military base it's there. McNeese sounds familiar, something like that. They've always asked me to visit, and I haven't. Nope. The state grows it for the medical program. Oh, okay. So it's grown by the state. Oh, I didn't know that. I did not know that at all. I didn't know if it was private industry, or I guess the state does. Oh, okay. Well, my relatives are Idaho farmers, so maybe we could change to that instead of potatoes. So it's kind of funny. I joke about that. So, my father-in-law passed away the other year, but where the farmland is, we're right on a river, but it's probably 100 to 150 foot drop off to the river. When he was a kid growing up, it's many years ago. He was 89 years old when he passed. So when he was a kid, they used to do moonshine down at the river with the water and everything like that. And as a kid, he was never allowed down by the river. And over the years, we've gone down there with metal detectors, and we find all kinds of things. But the cars used to come speeding by the house, and they used to make moonshine. Yeah, right there on the farm, right there at the river. And he told me his parents told him, you don't go down to the river. It's not safe. So the Jazz have been doing better. Yeah, so they beat the Denver Nuggets. So yeah, quite an accomplishment. I'm not too sure why. I'm earlier in the year it was terrible. They sucked badly, but I'm not too sure what the turnaround is. Maybe Christmas. But they have a couple good players. I think they have a great coach. So, as much as I know, I follow the college basketball more in the state nowadays than I do the Utah Jazz. Now, I used to follow the Jazz more heavily when we had like Stockton and Malone, some of those guys, Jeff Hornacek. But we went through quite a few dry years there after they retired, left, some really sucky teams, and I kind of lost interest, and I supported the college ball a lot more. So I'm more up to date on the college ball. And if you follow the college ball, Utah State University beat Colorado State earlier in the week on Tuesday night, I believe. And Colorado State was ranked, I believe, 13th in the country at the time. So quite an accomplishment. Okay. Hope everybody has a great weekend. Take care and stay safe.